Hi there, hello and howdy to all my piglets. This is Sheila, and welcome to the Painted Pig Studio on this rainy Monday afternoon here in Alabama. Okay, so this is going to be the beginner series that I've talked about before doing, and it will be beginner. Someone who's not familiar at all with junk journaling, but just perhaps interested in a hobby and paper crafting. This might just be for you. So, the first question is, what is a junk journal? Well, when I Googled it, the definition said a book which is often made through or with found and recycled materials to be used as a way to collect and record memories, thoughts, ideas, and inspiration. Well, I couldn't have put it better myself. That's why I Googled it. I think that's a pretty good nutshell description. Of course, there can be as many different kinds of junk journals just about as there are people doing them. And they can contain anything and everything, just like your junk drawer, if you've got one. Now, here's a few examples. This is my very first junk journal that I did 4 or 5 years ago, and it's got some issues, as you can see. And I've said before that I learn from every journal that I do. And so as you can see, this is very grungy and packed, chock-a-block full of stuff. Now, there's been some things I've taken out, used elsewhere, or whatever. This is paper from my friend Margaret. Gave me a ton of greeting cards and envelopes dating back from the 1920s that belonged to her grandmother and mother. So there's a lot of pieces of those in here. So this has got a lot of vintage stuff in it. And it's got scrapbook paper that I actually tried to dye, and I think that's why I didn't like it, because it just ended up looking dirty to me. But still, all in all, it was fun to do, and I learned a lot. So, and then this, for instance, it could be called a junk journal as well. It's more art journal than junk journal, but it's still got a lot of junk in it because it was made with file folders. And I wish I could remember how I did that binding, because that's pretty cool. And I just punched the holes with a small punch. And then, of course, I've got my strings and beads and stuff. And like I said, it's more of well, it was just a place to do some journaling and do some all kind of little flips. And if you're wondering about the bald ladies, I was on a kick about what is pretty, and I don't know, it's been a while. But everything is all mixed media and painted and all kinds of flips and journaling spots. So, and there is journaling in it. So, and a lot of, as you can see, this is junk. And it came from a shoe box, I guess. If you can read this without singing, you are stronger than us, or you never went to camp, or both. Whatever that means. And it's got a lot of quotes in it. It's got a lot of what is it called? Affirmation things, and photographs, and just, this was inspired by Christy Sobolewski. Anyway, I think she got off YouTube as not using her channel as a teaching vehicle so much now as to sell her classes. And this is, you could call this a traveler's notebook. And I originally just had scrapbook paper on the outside, and I just glued this on after I pretty well filled it up. And it's got journaling in it. It's got photographs. It's got memory keeping. It's got memorabilia, little bits and pieces, collected. And so it is actually a junk journal as well. But as you can see, there's some art journaling in it. This is my grandson. He's a lot bigger than that now. This was a couple of years ago. And in some places I wrote notes especially to him. So that's another. Now, this is one made from an old encyclopedia that was just rotten, really. As I was trying to work with it, it was just about to fall apart on me, and I had to cover it up quickly with this scrapbook paper. And this is a lot of fun. It was I did this along with Edith on Scrapbooking with Me, and I love this page. This is probably the most my most favorite page ever. And it has all the little flips and different. It's got the little notebook, and it's a tag shape, and it's got Alice in Wonderland. It's got my pig. It's got the March hare. It's just, I just think it's adorable. And this is an actual page that was in the encyclopedia. So, and you can see here, this is an example of using your junk mail in your junk journal to make something out of. See, I've got a journaling spot inside a pocket and tag inside a pocket. So, this is going to be my personal, it is my personal journal. And this is the Purple Lady. She's in my Etsy store. This is the first journal that I ever used digitals in. And as you can see, she's, excuse me, sip of water. She's quite frilly and pretty. Excuse me. And this closure is just a chain with these little clips. And she's got a wide spine, but not 3 inches. It's like 2.5, I think. And 5 signatures. And she's pretty well chock full. But the, and these are sort of hidden pockets here. Because they're made with the same paper. It's hard to see them. And some of this is vintage from those greeting cards still. And I do have a video, excuse me, a flip through video. It's snippets of this. And I have discounted it in my Etsy store. But this is a digital. This was, I think. I used quite a few digitals in here from Kerr and My Porch Prints and that type of thing. And so it's a little bit, I'd say upscale, not as quite as junky. But she's lovely and she's my lovely lady baby. And this is tapestry. I haven't attached this yet, but this is the front. And tapestry is soft cover with sort of upholstery material on the outside and a lace tie. It's sewn around, and this is like muslin fabric on the inside, and it's soft, and excuse me, I'm sniffling. I've got some more of this fabric that I'm going to, I was going to do slow stitching, but that didn't work out very well, so I'm just going to put the pockets in. And so then tapestry will go up on my Etsy as well. Notebook paper here, a map. If you've got maps at home, atlas papers, that kind of thing, that makes great junk journal pages, and of course book pages. Notebook paper, vellum or tissue paper, that would work. Got some hidden paper clips going on. This was the negative that was left after I cut a lot of welltail tabs on my silhouette. So I just backed them and put the butterflies in there, much like I did the rose on the front of the rose journal that we're doing now. Okay, so there we have it. And the basic materials, it's just giving you an idea of the different variations of a junk journal. The basic materials, well, you need paper, and all sorts. It can be new, it can be recycled, it can be vintage, as I've shown you. You also need old books are handy. Sometimes you, if you've lived as long as I have, sometimes you've got them in your own library. So you can get those at thrift stores, estate sales, yard sales, for covers, and you can substitute household items such as backs from sketch pads. And this, don't be afraid to utilize the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, to get a lot of this stuff, because you can get, like, you can spend $20 and have just about everything you need to get started and do mini journals. You can use cereal and food packaging. And you can use file folders. And the inside of binders, I've got this really thick cardboard material that is almost like bookboard. You can make your covers from there and use them to construct a journal. Greeting cards can be useful as well. You can cut out, you can fussy cut around images. You can take them apart, use blanks out of them for journal cards, or use the fronts for journal cards. You can even make a journal out of them if you so desire. Okay, and then for covers, for your covers, you can use fabric like this, scrapbook paper like this. You can use cardstock, wrapping paper, wallpaper, paper bags. All that can be used for covers. So you don't have to go out and buy stuff. Chances are you've got some of this stuff laying around already. And napkins can be used in junk journals as well. I'm probably showing that in some video or other, but you can search that on YouTube and find tutorials for doing napkins. And your textiles, your laces, your trims, appliques, lots of things like that you can find at thrift stores, and maybe in your own closet. Maybe you've got something you haven't worn in years that's got beading on it, or laces, or crochet, or any of that. Maybe you've got some lace doilies that you don't use anymore. So think about all that kind of thing. Try to train your eye to see things in a different way. And you'd be surprised what you can just find laying around the house to use. Toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls also make great pockets. So don't throw those away. They'll come in handy when you start this hobby. So just look around the house. See what you can find. You've probably got a stapler. You've probably got paper clips. Maybe some tape, which could come in handy. You've probably got things you can make stamps out of. Fun foam that you can get at the Dollar Tree. You can utilize that to make little stamps. I mean, they don't last forever, but you can use a little stylus or a ballpoint pen even, and create a design on the fun foam to use as a stamp. Aljon, that I've mentioned before, and she's always listed below, she has a great series for making a lot of your own things. It's $5 a week is all she spends, and sometimes not even that. And what is not spent gets banked and saved for, a large item like a paper trimmer or something like that. So that's a very economical way to get started by watching her channel. She's got great ideas. And the basic tools you need would be bookbinding tools, which doesn't necessarily have to be fancy ones. You don't have to jump on Amazon and try to find tools to bind your book, because what you need is a large needle, and chances are you may have one of these laying around. If you've ever bought a needle pack, there might be one, maybe not as large as this, but large enough to sew your signatures in. You need some type of thread. It can be crochet thread, embroidery thread. This waxed thread is great, but you don't have to have it to do a journal. And you can use twine, all sorts of things like that. And so you're going to need some glue. You're going to need some wet glue, such as Allen's tacky glue. That's the easiest and probably, I don't remember how much it costs, but I'm thinking it's very economical to pick up at Walmart. And there's also glue sticks, Elmer's glue sticks, which you can use. They're not very expensive. And that helps for when you're gluing thin paper to thin paper. That's when your glue sticks comes in, because you don't want to get it wet, or it's gonna warp and get wavy on you. So that's why you need the two different kinds. And if at all possible, if you plan on doing any fabric or textiles with your journal, you're going to need to get some Fabri-Tac. And you can get just a small bottle like this. They may even have a smaller bottle at the Dollar Tree by now. I don't know, but I know they have the tacky glue. And so this is what you need to glue: fabric to paper, fabric to fabric, or lace to paper, lace to fabric. All that kind of thing is what you use your Fabri-Tac for. Okay, and I think personally that if you've got some painter's tape, some kind of painter's tape, or washi tape, and you can even make your own washi tape if you've got that medical tape lying around. This is that medical tape, and it's stamped with a stamp to make a design on it. It could be any design, and now you will need ink for that. So, and you can pick up that at the Dollar Tree as well. You can pick up small, inexpensive ink pads at the Dollar Tree. You don't have to have the pricey Tim Holtz Ranger Distress inks or archival inks. Not yet, anyway. Okay, and you're going to need a good pair of scissors. And again, you don't have to order the Tim Holtz and all the fancy. I've got a pair here that I don't see at the moment that I got, if I'm not mistaken, I got at Walmart. Here they are. And they are Westcott Carbo Titanium Non-Stick. This is one of the best pair of scissors I have. And then a smaller pair comes in handy for doing fussy cutting, which is a term that will be in our vocabulary words in part 2. And you do need a ruler of some kind. I've got several. And I'll tell you, this one here, I got at the Dollar Tree for $1. And I can't tell you how many times I've used this. I've used it to trim papers. I've used it to measure. I've used it to find my square. It's just, for $1, I tell you what, I've gotten more than my money's worth out of it. Okay, and then you're going to need a cutting tool. Now, you may or may not have heard of a X-Acto knife. That's what that is. But you don't have to have that. For $1 at the Dollar Tree, you can get a set of these. And there you have several blades in there. And so if it starts getting dull, you can just snip it off and you have a brand new blade. So that is 3. I said 3 for $1. And this one right here, for instance, is very nifty. There's nothing at all wrong with using those. Do just as good a job in most cases. Now, eventually, a paper trimmer is going to be nice to have. I've got this small one, and if you're not cutting any large scrapbook papers or large pieces of paper, this is fine. Now, this is a Tonic Studio, so it was probably a little bit pricier than some. But the very first one I got, I know it was even smaller than that, and I think I got it at Walmart, and I'm sure that it was very economical. So that's a little introduction to junk journaling, and I hope it gave you some useful information. And please do leave a comment below if you are just thinking about starting on this journey, and let me know if this has been helpful in any way. And do like and subscribe, so and hit the notification bell so you will get all the different parts of this series. So you'll be notified whenever I put up a video about beginners junk journaling. Okay, so there we have it. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to craft. Craft can make you happy. It can be your therapy. Okay, so stay well, take care. Hugs and kisses until we meet again. Bye-bye.